As I do this video, I understand that voting is going on at the National Assembly. Members of Parliament are voting, and we are watching very closely to see the members of Parliament whom we gave us a golden chance to represent us, whom we are maintaining their offices and their secretariat and their security and the fuel guzzler cars with the taxpayers' money. We want to see those who are going to betray us. They will tell us whether it is William Ruto who voted them into offices or it is the Kenyan mtu wa kawaida. And it is the pressure from the Gen Z. Talking about Gen Z, they are taking the country by storm. When they started, William Ruto thought that they would cool down very fast, but they are not about to cool down. Today, they defied threats and intimidation from Ngunyi Mutahi and Dennis Itumbi, and they went in their numbers. In Eldoret, in fact, Eldoret shocked many because it is Ruto's backyard. They decided, we are now taking the battle to your doorstep, to your bedroom. Those numbers are really worrying. And so one person is questioning William Ruto that he should not ignore the numbers. Mike Sonko, in his Twitter handle, is telling us something. At first, by the way, Mike Sonko had an encounter with the Gen Z. They wanted to intimidate him or to understand his position about the finance bill. And they were saying, this is what Mike Sonko is reporting to us, that maze, hawa magen Z wamejaa ngori. Imagine they were trying kunivuruga mpaka mimi. And this is the conversation that Mike Sonko is giving us. Say no to finance bill, otherwise kitu utaionea kwa view sasa, you selfish politicians. And then Sonko, being who he is, said, kumbavu, I am not a selfish politician. Go to my Obina interview, you will see my position on the so-called government taxes. And then this Gen Z is saying, well done, my governor. Endelea kututetea. And Sonko told him, karibu. You see that kind of conversation? They have picked numbers of politicians, even potential politicians. If you know you want to vie for a seat in 2027, you have to start now. We have to know your position. You have to declare your stand. So they had an encounter. But then Mike Sonko is warning William Ruto or Kenya at large of the numbers of Gen Z. Sonko is saying, I have just Googled to get information on the Gen Z percentage in the country. And this is what I got. No wonder wamejaa ngori hivi. Kenya's population is estimated at 54,985,702. Gen Z is the most populous with 18,378,493 inhabitants, representing 33.42%. Millennials are 12,123,453,000, representing 22.05%. Both generations make up for 55.47%. You can imagine, these people are taking half of our population, the Gen Z. And Mike Sonko was very intelligent and very intentional by giving this information. This information is going to Kenyans as a whole. It is going to Dennis Itumbi. It is going to Mutai Ngunyi. It is going to Kithure Kindiki, to Kimani Chungwa, Ndindi Nyoro, and more so William Samoei Ruto. Because they seem to pretend that they want to ignore Gen Z. But I want us to look at this further. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. We want to expand our family. Please subscribe so that you can be part of this family. Click, help us share videos and give this particular video likes. To all our subscribers, again and again, I would like to thank you in a very special way. Ladies and gentlemen, what is so special about Gen Z? And why is Sonko giving us the numbers? It is good we know the numbers. One, there is strength in numbers. Elections world over is about numbers. The difference between William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga in the last election, the Chebukati difference, is 200,000 only. Now, these people, the Gen Z, makes up for over half of the population. We have not added women because youths and women usually go together. They suffer most during post-election violence. They are the ones that are being misused during post-election campaigns. Now, the fact that this generation has got the numbers is worrying because they have always had the numbers, but the numbers are being misused. They have always allowed other politicians to misuse them. Now, this time round, they have refused. Apart from their numbers, what is so special about them? The Gen Z, as we have seen them over the few days, they are energetic. They have decided to go to the street. This is the time that in your youthful stage that you can do quite a lot. They are determined. You know, for a long time, they have been relaxed. They have allowed others to make decisions on their behalf. But this time around, they are determined. That is why they are reminding the parliamentarians that we elected you. We donated powers. You are only but exercising those powers on our behalf. That is the nature of our democracy. We have a two-tier government, the national and the county government. In both levels, we have voted our leaders and we have donated power. So they are determined. Apart from the determination, they are united. If there is one thing that has been missing, is the unity during elections. They are divided along political lines, along tribal lines. When you saw them on the streets, they are never bothered about their tribe or their political party of affiliation. Their common enemy is this government. The refusal to listen to them is the enemy. Now, what can they achieve? Because apart from being energetic, determined, united, and having strength in their numbers, they are also disappointed by this government. A government that segregated them and told them, nyinyi ni mahasla. Uhuru na Raila hawajaelewa njaa ni nini, hawajui mateso ni nini, hawajui umaskini ni nini. Naye rais wetu akawaambia, mimi nilianza kama muuza kuku na mayai na mimi nimelelewa kwa umaskini. Kwa hivyo mimi naelewa mateso yenu. And they bought that narrative and they rejected Raila. Now, almost 2 years down the line, there is no single promise that were given to the Gen Z. In terms of appointments, there are no hustlers in them. People like Millicent Tomanga, people like Kimani Ngunjiri. I mean, there are no hustlers here. So these people are disappointed by a government that would wink to them. What will be the result? And why is Sonko warning about their numbers? They can wait for 2027 and change the whole government from the MCA to women rep to member of parliament to the senator, governor, and president. They can do it because they have the numbers. Once they refuse to take bribes, cheap money that they're always being given, once they decide that they're not going to listen to more drama and fallacy from politicians, they can wait for 2027 and they can make an overhaul in this government. And that is worrying. And if you want to know that what I'm saying is serious, parliamentarians are now making a U-turn, except for a few who have benefited from William Ruto and they cannot run away. So they can wait for 2027. Number two, they might decide. In fact, waiting for 2027, look at Senegal. They waited when the government had got its own project and they defeated the project, the government project. They elected Bassirou Faye, and together with Sonko, who had been banned, they have formed a government. And they are doing a good job. They have reduced taxes and they understand their people. If they think that 2027 is far, these people can bring a revolution. Already, we are talking about Arab Spring. It started like this. In Tunisia, if I'm not wrong, a young man who was being disturbed by wale watoza ushuru, wale wakanjo, just decided, went, took some petrol, poured the petrol on his body and cast himself on fire, and he died, and that rekindled the bitterness in people, and people started rioting, and that is how Arab Spring took over. In Egypt, it was the same. In Sudan, I know there is a debate around it because most of those countries have never stabilized. But I'm just saying that these people can decide to bring a revolution in the country. If they decide to occupy parliament, they decide to occupy state house, in their millions of numbers, how many will you kill? Most of our soldiers, the men in uniform, the police and soldiers, are parents, because the Gen Z are our children, they are our daughters, they are our sons, they are our younger brothers and sisters. What will you do? They can decide to bring a revolution that will wipe away all this wakora. They can do that very easily, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the fear. They can decide, because you've seen what is happening. You remember in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore is a young man. When they realized that the government was not listening to them, he was a major in the military. He was supported and he took over power. He's doing a good job there. I'm not praying for a coup d'etat, but I'm saying that if these puppets of the West are not listening to us, they can easily face the wrath of Gen Z. Finally, Gen Z can install one of their own. I've told you in Madagascar, they installed a DJ. I'm always forgetting the name of that president. As a young man, you can imagine a DJ where you go clubbing, just decide that tumechoka, and they took over the government. Do you know sometimes we don't care how you ascend to power. All we care about are the services. Like, for example, if you ask me, William Ruto ascended to power through unscrupulous means. From where I sit, I still believe that the elections were rigged. And if you think you want to reprimand me, open the servers without any story. Na tuachane hapo. Now, the reason I'm saying that sometimes we don't even care how you ascend to power. If William Ruto had ascended to power and he decides to lower taxes, he decides to create more employments and he attracts and maintains investors, and he reduces this foreign travel, and we see that the bei unga and all these basic commodities have stabilized, and the cost of education is affordable, the cost of medication is affordable, that we don't hear more of wastage. The Auditor General is not telling us about wastage. I mean, we would be very happy. We would not even mind. We would say, okay, aliiba lakini alikuwa na nia. The same way Traore just by coup took over. But people are loving him. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Sonko's warning must be taken seriously, because Gen Z have got strength in their numbers. They're determined, they're united, they're energetic, and they are a disappointed lot. Let us not ignore them. That's my take.